Hello, I've been out in the wilds again. Little village location in East Sussex that has a bookshop that deals with both new and second-hand. Guess which section I just went straight for? There was an awful lot of people around there. Must have been really into these kind of naval thrillers, which I don't really care for them that much. I suppose both of the Second World War and the kind of Battle of Trafalgar type of Master and Commander type of thrillers, and I'm not really that into either. So I was a bit, awful lot of dad fiction in there as well, which I've touched on lately. Those kind of classic authors that, when I was a kid, people's dads would always be reading, Len Dayton and Alistair MacLean and Wilbur Smith and blah blah blah. Otherwise, I sort of had to nose between the gaps of those a bit, but anyway, I came away with I think 8 titles, of which we will look through now. First off, Chocks Away Ginger. Yeah, one of those classic corgi. I think this is a 60s edition. This is written by Richard. It would be a double-barreled name being RAF related, wouldn't it? Richard Townsend Bickers. Concerning itself with Ginger Lacey. His name wasn't really Ginger. James Harry Lacey, famed Battle of Britain pilot. His landmark exploit being depicted there in the picture. He's the guy who shot down the Heinkel that was trying to drop a bomb on Buckingham Palace. Battle of Britain's top scorer, flew the first Spitfire over Japan. I've not got very far into this yet, so I don't know the circumstances of that. He was the toughest CO in Burma. How's that measured? I'd like empirical evidence of that. I mean, does that exclude Japanese commanders? Anyway, yes, and finally, the man who shot down the Heinkel that bombed Buckingham Palace. I've yet to get to the specifics of that. But anyway, the first couple of chapters are actually quite exciting. The opening chapter depicts his first actual combat action, in which he does remarkably well in this. Actually, it's over France. He's before the Battle of Britain starts. He's during the French campaign. He's still an NCO, but I think on that first day, on his first outing, he brings down. He totally explodes a 109 in the air. Not just brings it down. It just disintegrates in the sky, and then a Heinkel one. I think it's a Heinkel 111 straight away afterwards, and then he goes up again that day, and I think he gets a Messerschmitt 110. So pretty good innings, really. But one of those classic sort of corgi war title artworks there. Anyway, next, Walter Macon, The Scorching Wind, which concerns itself with, it's a novel, it's fiction, but it concerns itself with Ireland, the bitter fight for independence from 1915 to the end of the Civil War. Don't know a lot about the author, completely new to me. Could be good, we'll see. Next, believe it or not, I didn't have a copy of this until picking this up. There is a method to my madness, which I suppose will be revealed in a future video. I tried with an online talking book version. I do struggle with the I suppose it's early 19th century, the language, the rather over ornate written English characterises, I suppose, novels of this period. I do struggle a bit. We'll see how I do. Next, I didn't quite avoid the dad authors. Jack Higgins is another of those names that I'd throw in with that. East of Desolation, a fast-paced and exotic thriller that will appeal to all those who enjoy reading dad authors. It doesn't actually say that. Desmond Bagley and Alistair MacLean. So yeah, it's very much in that bracket. A plane that crashed high up in the icy desert of Greenland ice cap. How is it exotic when it's set in Greenland? Anyway, there's that. This one, I've never heard of the author. I don't know if he's any relation to Leonard. John Rossiter, A Rope for General Dietz. This is a Roger Tallis adventure, so presumably the central character had other adventures. Roger Tallis, he's assigned the task of, he has to protect an old guy with a history of Nazi war crimes. A rough, tough tale with no punches pulled, says the South Wales Argus. Spear books Yeah, we'll see. Next, I'd never heard of this, although of course I've heard of the author. Chog by Quentin Crisp, illustrated by Garn Wilson. This is the story of mischief, mayhem, unnatural acts, unspeakable deeds. Only the infamous Quentin Crisp, author of The Naked Civil Servant, abetted by the popular cartoonist Garn Wilson, concocted a tale as deliciously sardonic and murderously funny as the gothic fable of a mad Englishman and a dog inherits a fortune. Next, another wartime, the wartime memoirs of the man who created the French resistance, Henri Frenay, The Night Will End. Got striking cover artwork there. This is Coronet and 1976. Now, last of all, I've put this one off till last for a reason, I suppose. I'm toying with the idea of doing a dedicated one on this. It's a title, when I was a kid, this was everywhere. And then for years later, every second-hand shop, every charity shop had a copy of this. And it's one of those things that subsequently you hardly ever see it. Almost a sort of definition of its time. Yeah. If you remember this, you'll kind of know the nature of it. If you don't remember it, the idea of a humorous book on the subject of Idi Amin might take a bit of processing. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it now. I kind of expected a bit of a weird look from the people at the counter when I bought it, but then why are they selling it? I may well revisit this one. You know, if my job is to, if it's a job, if my job is to pull up the paving stones on pop culture curiosities and items that I suppose were once mainstream and are now kind of almost written out of history. This is one, but to be continued.